Thankfully this was not a play, so run, otherwise I'd be screwed right there. Sorry about that. Also, welcome to Rebot and Stream Elements. Now, for our first submission of the night, we're going to be doing easy 80% again with Haggar. One of the reasons why we're doing that is because I'll maximize our attacks and deal full damage, whereas if we were to play this on higher difficulties, that would be a lot more harder to do. So that's another reason why we're playing the easy normal difficulties for the most part. I will do the best I can to commentate. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So anyway, this is Final Fight 2. This was released in 1993. This is the official sequel, Final Fight 1, whether everyone likes it or not. And right off the gate, the enemies are pretty annoying, pretty much in this game. Namely because their movements are pretty bad overall. So we're going to do the best we can to get them defeated pretty quickly. I don't destroy that barrel because I do have easier time fighting these guys than situations. Alright, we got both of them out of the way. Nice. And we're also going to use Chain Joys, which is basically we put a extra joy attack in the end of the chain. Try to group enemies as much as possible, but that's kind of a problem for me in this game, unfortunately. Ooh, nice. Holding for 3, obviously. Ooh, that was even better, too. Got that grouping. Very nice. There isn't really much to say about this first part, other than the fact that this is a massive restart point. Since we don't have to worry about enemies merging from the box, after that, we're going to go ahead and break it and force all these enemies out of there. Alright, I want to make sure... Oh, hey, Nightmare James! Welcome back! How are you? Anyway, we're fighting all these enemies right here. Now, since I do know all the damage formulas for most of the enemies, for most of the stages, I do know what to expect. Anyway, I hope your Pokemon Go thing went pretty well. So we're going to try to use corner attacks if we can. So we're not going to break this crate because we're going to set that up for a despawn, actually. Or just mostly force these guys out of there. Unfortunately, Scott got away, though. Now, the Eliases and Elliots tend to always get around you in a square formation, so they're pretty easy to intercept, pretty much. So we're going to take this barbecue right here. We're going to defeat this Atlas. Unfortunately, Atlases and Johnnies are pretty annoying in this game. Thankfully, this Leon decided not to jump at us. Made it a little bit more easier for us. So we're going to try to jump as much as we can with Haggar. He's not very fast with walking speed, like Carlos and Maki do. And we're going to leave one of those crates intact because that makes it a little bit more simpler. So anyway, we're coming up to 1-1 on easy difficulty. He's pretty easy to fight since he gets no reinforcements. Now, since we're playing this on the Wii U, we can't get the speed going the way we want to, for the most part, with the infinites. So the infinite wasn't perfect, but you definitely saw what I was trying to do. It is very difficult to get an infinite going on bosses with Haggar. Not to mention our striking speed is pretty slow. Now we're moving on to France. And unfortunately we failed to score the despawn. We might as well get rid of the enemies right there. And that Atlas is just being chicken. Get over here, Atlas. Yeah, see what he did right there? He went behind me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It ain't COVID, is it? But anyway, I hope you get better though. Anyway, we're getting into this part right here. This is where we start fighting the Andoris. This is our first encounter with Hugo Andori. Sadly, no food item, but we did beat up him and Elijah there. So we're moving on to the second part right here, and this is where this gets a little bit more trickier here. Yeah, the enemies are pretty finicky in this game. Namely, they know when to get aggressive and when to basically back away. So anyway, we get past that part. So we do have to keep an eye on the Leons and Roberts, because those guys love to jump at us. And the Andoris love to charge as well. So yeah, as you can definitely see, Bull was avoiding our attacks. So because of Haggar's massive reach with his punches. That really does give him a huge edge over most of the cast. Maki's probably got the least better range out of the bunch. And once we get past here, we're going to take out this Elias that emerges here. Give him the 3 headbutt treatment along with the 2 punches. And then we're going to deal with Elec here. Elecs are pretty unpredictable in this game, unfortunately, and that's due to the fact that if you decide to go after them, they'll start charging at you. Especially with those electrified electrodes they have there. So we're going to try to despawn this Scott right here. And that's going to, in addition, get rid of the Johnny that we would have had to deal with. That also gets rid of Scott that we would have had to fight as well. So we're going to move on over here. So it's probably not a good idea to fight all the enemies right out the gate, because you might have to fight some new ones right after that. Now the reason why I did that is to make sure I have some means to counter Robert's leap attack, in case he does go for that. Once you know which enemies come out, it becomes a little bit more easier to plan ahead. Now, we do use chain attacks sometimes. Chain throws are pretty good in this game, but they're not as consistent as they were in Final Fight 1, unfortunately. Now, I had to fake that one in order to see what he would do. Now, because we didn't break the crate there, we got rid of that bowl. Unfortunately, since we have a very high chance of dropping infinites, we pretty much have to be very careful as to how we play as Haggar here. And one thing to keep in mind is that Freddy can use the rising knee attack, which does pretty hefty damage. So we're going to probably play a big game of chicken pretty much here with Mr. Freddy here. Freddy's pretty much Andori 2.0 in this game, obviously. So one good thing about fighting Freddy is that his charge attacks will not go after you. He'll usually go after wherever you stopped at. So anyway, we get past Freddy. We're going to the break the car stage. We're going to use Haggar's Lariat to hit both sides of the car. We'll pick up this Tompa and make our way over here. Then we're going to hit this 5 times. Then go back to using the Lariat. Sometimes we can get it done with 19 seconds left, and then usually you have your 17 seconds left. I think that only applies to the Wii U and Wii VC versions. Sometimes you might have to hit the car a certain amount of times on one of the ends before you can break the others. So anyway, we're going to the stage 3 with Holland. And Holland's pretty much where the difficulty starts rising. And this is because enemies start getting a little bit more aggressive and have more higher health, unfortunately. Yeah, I was going to go throw Scott right there, and unfortunately he broke out of there. Now we want to position our characters to the right side of the screen, and this is because we're going to set up a despawn. Normally there would be a Atlas and a Mick coming right out to meet us on the left. So we also put ourselves on the bottom part of the screen to make sure that we force Elliot to trigger one of the landmines. So we're going to beat this Elic right here. Do this reverse hop right here. And try to get rid of this Endori pretty quickly. For those of you that played Third Strike, you'll know he's actually Hugo Endori, one of the members of the Haggar gang, pretty much. Unfortunately, I mistimed my calculation on the damage there, so we'll survive that one. So anyway, here comes the next patch. Whoa, that was not what I meant to do. So if enemies are too far away for Haggar when he punches them, it's best to jump forward towards them so they don't move away from you. That's another big downside about having the huge reach, is that enemies can react, move away from you. So anyway, we're going to hold up after we go through the elevator screen, and we're going to be trying to make sure we don't trigger this Leon here. Yeah, sometimes Grandpa Endori just loves to charge, obviously. I won't waste using extra choice just to wipe enemies out pretty quickly. So, even if you don't break the barrel, you can buy some time before Endori Jr. comes out to play. Which is what happens right here. Yeah, I just don't trust that Elic. Elics are very unpredictable because when they back up, you don't know if they're going to stand there or start charging at you. So we're going to take out these two enemies real quick. We're not going to break the barrel here because we're going to set that up for a despawn. So chain throws. And just wipe out this guy right here. Ah! Sometimes I can activate my lariat at a time, and then there's other times it's just bad. But anyway, once we get through this pack, we're gonna go ahead and break both of these barrels here. Back away, Elic. So I don't mind taking a death to refill health, pretty much, for the most part, since there isn't really a whole lot of health items to begin with, which is very unfortunate. But anyway, once we get past here, we'll go to the sewers, and we'll make our way towards Bracken, the boss for this stage. Bracken's actually one of the more difficult bosses to fight earlier on. He and Philippe are probably the most dangerous ones out of the new bosses that you get to fight here. Now, you do get some very high points for beating Joes. You do have to watch out for the fire bombs they carry with them. So anyway, we're going up to Bracken here. We are going to try to set up an infinite on him. It just really depends on what he does when he gets up, though. Stay out of your side, Bracken. And it's also pretty easy to lose control of the infinite, too. Well, it wasn't a perfect fight, but at least we didn't take a whole lot of damage from Bracken. So that was good. So anyway, we're coming up to England, and basically we're going to pick up this 1-up right here. So for extra safety, since we are playing marathon safety strats. So first things first, we try to get rid of that Atlas. Now I deliberately weakened that Elliot on purpose to make sure we get some more time here. Man, stupid enemies, they just find a way to get through my guard, obviously. I just want that Elliot to come on here. That's not bad. I don't usually finish that fast on that part there. So we're gonna corner all these enemies right here. Just try to wipe them all out there. Sometimes that Endori loves to sneak up on you. As long as I don't drop the infinite here, we're gonna probably wipe out this Endori pretty quickly. Now normally I would normally this would last up until around 89 seconds left on the clock, but we got through pretty fast on this first part here. Now, according to MTI, this stage does have a rank system, and it really affects the fight with Philippe, actually. So the faster we get done here, the better. Let's get rid of that, Elic first. Of course, getting rid of Mr. Atlas wouldn't be a bad idea either. Yeah, luckily I know all my tricks pretty much. Well, close enough. Yeah, we'll just get rid of him. Now, sometimes enemies do have very weird recovery rates. Sometimes they'll get up pretty fast, other times they'll take their sweet time there. Now, that is usually a good spot to die, unfortunately. And you do have to be very careful when you fight these enemies in general. Now, if you want to play it safe, you can always hide up in the upper part right there. And this basically allows you to avoid most of the firebombs. Now, on higher difficulties, there'll be more Joes coming out to throw out fire bombs. For some odd reason, they'll usually have two come out. So we'll pick up this hidden barbecue and get ready to fight Philippe. Since I can't do the infinite pretty fast with Haggar here for this fight, we're going to have to use somewhat of alternate stat to deal with him. We can use this extra joy to avoid his slide on Wake Up. Unfortunately, all these enemies are ganging up on me, and that happens too, unfortunately. Well, that was unfortunate. I mean, sometimes I'll get Philippe, and then there's other times when when his goons get the best of me, unfortunately. It happens. But hey, at least the whole point is basically deal as much damage to Philippe. He's the only boss in the entire game that doesn't really get a defense boost on higher difficulties. So he's probably the weakest of the bosses, but he is probably the most annoying to deal with in general. And that's because of the fact that he can do that slide that those Elgatos and Hollywoods would normally do. So anyway, once you beat Philippe, you'll go straight to this bonus stage. Probably my least favorite in the entire series, unfortunately. And this is because of the stupid flame barrels. Now, these barrels I do suspect that they're run on a global timer. So basically, while you're dealing with the ones in front of them, they're probably going on and off screen. So anyway, we're on the pre-roll level Italy. So we're gonna fight the first two enemies here. Crud. I hate when that happens. Sometimes the inputs get eaten, courtesy of the input muncher, which seems to exist in the Wii U VC version. I don't think so, Elic. Alright, that takes care of that bunch. You do fight some worser enemies to deal with in layer difficulties. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to get rid of that Atlas in time. Yeah, we actually did. Nice. Yeah, sometimes my inputs get eaten, and therefore, sometimes that ruins infinite opportunities. I mean, sometimes it's my fault, and then there's times where I meant to press a button, and it just does not happen. But then again, this is very common with beat 'em ups for the most part. Not to mention my controller's pretty old, too. Wow, that Leon was desperate for a jump there. Let's corner these guys here so we can wipe them out pretty quickly. Now, sometimes you don't have to use infinites. You can just use grapple strikes in addition with your punches, and that also depletes their health pretty quickly, too. But yeah, it's just very difficult to deal with these enemies sometimes. Anyway, we're going to pick up this Ginryu side item that's hidden behind this pillar. That's to counter these Roberts and Leons that are going to be emerging from the left and right here. Not bad for that area. So we're going to try to despawn all three of these enemies, or at least two of them. And that's to make sure we don't have to deal with the other enemies, because there are 10 enemies we have to fight in this part here. Ooh, that Elix scored a hit there. Now, Noble Boy 77 did discover an interesting trick with your chain throws. You can delay your throws and basically return the favor by ooh, they struck hard, and I lost a life there. But basically, you can withhold your final attack, move forward, and then hold a different direction and hit the attack button for the throw. So anyway, we fought through the Elix, even though we did lose life there. But at least the good news is we won't have to deal. We got full life going into the elevator stage. Now, on easy difficulty, we can set up this trick here. We're going to take out the Scott here, just in case his buddies don't attack us. Man, Rank should have went down with a defeat there. Pick up this barbecue. Man, this is actually the first time we actually have full health going into Releno. So yeah, Releno makes his return here in Final Fight 2 since he didn't make an appearance in the first SNES version. So we're going to be fighting him here. So we're going to corner Relento this strat. And basically we're trying to make sure he doesn't move around the entire battlefield. So by keeping him cornered like this, we're going to probably make sure that he doesn't move a whole lot. And basically force him to focus mostly on hitting us with that staff of his. Fortunately, my button inputs are getting eaten, unfortunately. But luckily we managed to defeat him before he wipes us out. So we're going to go for meaty combos right there. Well, I don't know if those would be considered meaty combos, but we're going to add a spinning pile driver for the finish, just for cherry on top, as they say. Alright, we get a cutscene that we skipped that it indicates that Maki's family's been taken back to Japan, so we're going over there to liberate them from the Mad Gear, pretty much. And fortunately, we're probably not going to get all the enemies despawned, unfortunately. Normally, I get all three of them at once. But unfortunately, that just doesn't always happen, unfortunately. Now, you do have to keep an eye out for the Leon that comes... Oh, that Johnny with the magic grab. I think these guys might have taken lessons from Zangief. Though I don't think Zangief would have wasted his time with those quads. Those dirtbags in general. Wow, he didn't charge him. Normally he does that. But anyway, in higher difficulties, we will be using those landmines to weaken that Endori. So anyway, we're going to start jumping over here. Normally I would have audio on to hear whether or not I hear the Elec charge or not. But anyway, we've got both of these guys out of the way. you can always use your spinning pile driver as a defense move as well as an offense maneuver, pretty much. It's a good way to punish enemies that love to charge, like the Endoris and Elex. So we're not going to beat these guys at the start once we see them. We do want to have all of them start coming down here. Unfortunately, we took a death, unfortunately. That happens. Alright, that takes care of them. Yeah, unfortunately, the Atlases and Johnnies have the ability to do magic grabs, courtesy of Zangief's spinning pile driver, whereas it's called now the screw pile driver. Want to get rid of this mark. That stupid bull did not want to work here. Man, my attacks just didn't want to come out today, obviously. Any more? Now, there's also another trick you can use to force, to tell whether or not that Leon or Robert jumps at you. Unfortunately, that part required us to wipe out all those enemies, so unfortunately we gotta deal with these guys here. First things first, we're gonna deal with these guys so we don't have to fight them in addition to fighting the Endoris coming up. Yeah, don't even think about putting your electrodes on me, pal. Yeah, we're gonna do the infinite on the Endoris here. Hopefully we don't drop it. I wager it would be more faster if we were playing this on the native console it was intended for. So thankfully we got rid of these guys. Unfortunately, they decided not to play nice. Now we have to deal with that Grandpa Gory after that group there. Once we do that, we position our character right there, and we're going to jump up and go into the base. This area is called Blockers Hallway, and this is because we're going to be dealing with those blockers in a moment. I'm going to weaken these guys up so it doesn't take us that long to wipe them all out. So the reason why it's called Blockers Hallway is because we got to fight these Atlases and Johnnies. Now, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to take a death, unfortunately. I am going to try to get as much damage on these guys as much as possible. Yeah, the blockers can be infinite sometimes, but there's a 50-50 chance of them breaking the infinite and basically just punishing you pretty hard. So 92 is usually the time I usually get done beating them. Over your side, you like. Wow, that Elec wanted to come after me there. Yeah, you're not getting away from me that easy, Elec. Now, we do have to be careful of this Robert behind us. Sometimes he'll love to leap at us there. Now, there is female counterparts to these enemies here. They were censored for the World US versions. Unfortunately, my attack did not want to go off, which is kind of bad. Yeah, I was trying to go for the infinite and it just did not register. Now, funny thing is that Haggar's air attacks are actually 1 point stronger than his punches, which is pretty unique. You'd think his punches would be more stronger than his drop kicks. Ow! How did he do that? And I don't even know how in the world I survived that there. Feel free to clip that. Anyway, once one of the enemies goes down, we're going to be seeing some Joes coming out to play. Position your character right there. As long as you stay on the bomb part, you're pretty much safe, pretty much right there. Unfortunately, my character bit the dust there. What is going on here? Yeah, I want that, Whoa, he went for that grab already. Now, Endori's in this game is pretty much, are more tame than their Final Fight 1 counterparts, believe it or not. Yeah, that Elik tried to chase after us, but he failed. Now, thankfully, we got that MIG despawn there. Stay on your side, Elliot. Thankfully, that's the last time we have to deal with Elliot there. I'm surprised they didn't try to bear hug me there just now. They can literally do that pretty much from off screen. So anyway, we're coming up to the end of this part here. And this is where we're going to be fighting these enemies coming up. The Andoris, the Jack and Mark, and 2 Atlases. Yeah, I tried to go for the Infinite just now. Great, this game just does not want to respond kindly to my inputs. Sorry about that, folks. I was hoping to have full health going into Fight Route 2, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So anyway, coming up, we're fighting against Route 2. He's probably the more less aggressive of the final bosses of the series, but he's still pretty overpowered, though. So you do not want to be putting yourself in danger when you're fighting against Route 2. Unfortunately, I wish I had more health to actually make full use of my health at the very end. That's fine, we'll take a death right there to reload. Now, of course, like most final bosses in the Final Fight series, you cannot really grab him. He does break away pretty easily. He doesn't break away pretty easily from chain throws, so you want to maximize that for the most part. Stay on your side or two. Good grief, he's being aggressive today. Normally he's not that aggressive. Now we do not want him at the very ends there because when he does that, that usually puts us in a bad situation because those huge leaps that he does, he'll be ready to make a huge leap, and usually he goes for that spin kick miss. Yeah, for some odd reason, I can't get an infinite going whenever I try to set this up. So you have to forgive me. But you can always intercept that, attack him in between those animations, and that's how it's done. But technically, if we were playing this on a Super Nintendo or whatever, we could probably get a little bit more easier time landing those infinites, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that was very unfortunate there. Sorry, that's probably a bad choice of words. Just got very unlucky, but it was still a good run, though. I will say it's a good run. Now, whether or not it gets accepted to ADGQ, well, we'll see. But anyway, we'll take a small breather, relax for a bit, and get some water, and we'll get ready to set up hard mode. Oh yeah, enjoy the lurk, James. Sorry about that, I'm trying to make sure I have good commentary going on.